Feeling maybe a bit stuck, like you're in your 20s, maybe 25, and it feels less like a launch pad and more like, I don't know, endless scrolling, maybe some situationship drama.
Yeah,
Well, this deep dive, it's really laser focused on you.
absolutely. We're going to tackle this concept. We're calling it the Western trap.
Yeah.
It's basically a set of these like subtle societal pressures. They can really derail young women, you know?
Right.
We've looked at some really compelling material, stuff that dissects these distractions, but also, and this is key, offers ways to break free.
Okay.
So our mission here is to kind of cut through all that noise and give you some real clarity, maybe some direction.
Okay, so this Western trap, when we looked at the sources, it paints this picture, right? It's almost this unspoken story that your 20s, they're just for like figuring things out, partying, looking good, and just kind of passively waiting for life to sort itself out.
Just hoping it happens. Yeah, like waiting for a train that maybe isn't even scheduled, you know?
Exactly. And the contrast is so stark, isn't it? Compared to like a more intentional way of building a life.
Yeah, the material suggests, and this is interesting, particularly for women, there's often this really critical window, a time to build real leverage.
Leverage, okay.
And look, this isn't about turning into some like constant hustle machine or trying to be someone you're not overnight.
Right, not another pressure.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
It's more like a fundamental shift, like waking up from habits that are, well, actively holding you back. Think of it like choosing your own current instead of just drifting along.
Yeah, I like that. And the source material, it really digs into the pieces of this trap, doesn't it?
It does.
We're talking, okay, the relentless pull of consumerism,
Big one.
the whole hookup culture scene, which can be so superficial, getting sucked into endless gossip cycles, you know, and that constant chase for validation from others that honestly just leaves you feeling empty.
It's almost like it's designed that way, isn't it? A system to keep you busy, maybe entertained, but not really fulfilled.
So connecting the dots, these things together, they create this feedback loop, right? That actually stops real growth.
Yeah, prevents real self-discovery. Because if you're constantly taking in fleeting trends, superficial stuff,
Right.
there's just no room left, no mental space for focusing on what actually matters to you. It's like trying to build a house on, I don't know, quicksand.
That's a great analogy. And to make this really concrete, we found this story, Tanya C.
Oh, yeah, Tanya's story.
Yeah. So picture this. 24 years old, she's deep in the Vegas nightlife scene, super focused on her Instagram image, validation there, and just spending way too much money. Does that sound familiar to anyone listening?
Yeah, you know, it brings up a good point about those kinds of environments. They can seem really glamorous, right? Immediate fun, maybe a sense of belonging, but often there's a hidden cost. Long-term financial health, maybe even personal well-being. It's that classic short-term buzz versus like lasting satisfaction.
So true. But then for Tanya, something shifted. This unexpected turning point. A VIP guest at her job saw something in her, apparently.
Right. Gave her a challenge.
Yeah, real challenge. Read these 3 specific books and then follow up with him in 90 days.
And the books themselves are revealing.
Totally. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Atomic Habits, and The Millionaire Fastlane. I mean, talk about a serious upgrade to the reading list, right?
Definitely. And what's insightful there is the focus.
Yeah.
You know, foundational stuff. Building wealth, the power of tiny, consistent habits, and these like unconventional ways to get financial freedom.
It was like the total opposite programming to her world.
Exactly. Counter-programming. That's a good way to put it.
And the change for her was, well, pretty amazing. 6 months later, she's out of nightlife.
Wow, 6 months.
Gets into real estate. By the time she's 26, she's hitting $10,000 a month, consistently.
That's significant.
And now, she's actually mentoring other young women on how to own assets. It's a complete 180.
It really is. And I think the big takeaway from Tanya, from her story, it's the sheer impact of that challenge, right? That unexpected wake-up call. It just highlights how easy it is to get comfortable, maybe complacent, and the power hidden in those moments that just shake things up.
Yeah, disrupt the inertia.
Exactly. But it also shows the danger of ignoring those little nudges, you know, those opportunities for change when they pop up. How often do we brush off advice or a gut feeling that could actually be life-changing?
Oh, constantly. Which kind of leads us nicely into these Insights from a billionaire's perspective that our sources mention. Some pretty direct, almost brutal truths.
Yeah, they don't mince words.
The main idea is that a lot of the systems we use every day, social media, fast fashion, even dating apps, they're built primarily for engagement, for profit.
Not necessarily for our individual growth or like long-term happiness.
It's a bit sobering when you think about it like that.
It is. But understanding that, understanding the why behind these platforms, it lets us engage differently, right?
Right.
More consciously, less passively.
So it's not about totally ditching them.
No, not necessarily. But it's about recognizing that their goals might not be your goals. It makes you ask, am I the consumer here or am I being consumed?
Ooh, that's good. Okay, so the first big mindset shift from this perspective, attention is currency.
Powerful concept.
It really is. What you consistently give your focus to that shapes your mental world, your reality. So it's about being super deliberate. What are you watching? Who are you following? What thoughts are you letting just camp out in your head?
Yeah, think about every minute spent mindlessly scrolling. It's like a tiny investment, but not in yourself. It's an investment in someone else's agenda.
Right. And if you link that back to the Western trap idea.
Yeah, a lot of that content is designed to hook you, keep you scrolling, often without giving you anything substantial back, anything that helps you evolve.
It's like mental junk food. Empty calories for the mind.
Perfect analogy.
Okay, shift number 2. Date like a CEO. I kind of love this one.
Me too. It's provocative.
It basically says bring the same level of strategic thinking and careful vetting you'd use for a key business partner. Bring that to your romantic life.
Right. So instead of just initial spark or
Which fades, right?
which can fade, yeah. You start asking bigger questions early on, like, what are we actually considering here?
Okay, so what kind of questions?
Well, you move past the surface stuff. You think about shared values, actual long-term compatibility. Is there mutual respect?
Yeah.
Are your big life goals pointing in, roughly the same direction?
Okay.
These are the same building blocks you'd want in a successful business partnership, right?
Yeah.
It's recognizing that relationships, good ones, they need a solid foundation to actually thrive, just like a business.
That makes so much sense. Okay, and the third mindset shift. Replace lifestyle with leverage.
This one really cuts deep, I think.
Yeah, it forces you to look hard at your daily habits, your activities, and ask, is this building something? Is it creating momentum, opening doors, increasing my resources?
Because it's just maintaining the status quo. Maybe even draining time, energy, money in the long run.
It makes you evaluate where your most valuable resources are actually going. Time and energy.
Exactly. Are you investing them in things that will pay off later? Career, skills, financial health, personal growth, or are you mostly just focused on keeping things comfortable, but maybe ultimately stagnant?
It's that choice again, growth over just comfort.
Precisely.
Okay, so this is all great in theory, but how do you actually start making these shifts, practically?
Right, the actionable stuff. Well, the source gives a pretty clear starting point, a challenge almost.
Okay, challenge accepted. What is it?
First step, go on your social media. Unfollow 10 accounts. 10 accounts that you know are just distractions. Or maybe they make you feel bad.
Like what kind of accounts?
Could be anything, really. Those influencers with the seemingly perfect lives, gossip pages that just pull you into negativity, maybe even toxic people IRL whose posts just drag you down.
Yeah.
Whatever consistently leaves you feeling less than.
Okay, unfollow 10. That feels doable.
It's a concrete first move, right?
Yeah.
To reclaim your attention, your mental space, you consciously curate your digital world, make room for more positive, purposeful stuff. It's like decluttering your brain's living room.
I like that. Decluttering the brain's living room. Okay, what's next?
Next, commit to reading just 10 pages. 10 pages of a nonfiction book every single day.
10 pages.
The source suggests starting points like Atomic Habits, great for building good routines, or maybe The Psychology of Money for getting a healthier view on finances.
It's those small, consistent steps again, isn't it?
Absolutely. Compounding isn't just for money, right?
Yeah.
It works for knowledge, for personal growth, too. 10 pages sounds tiny, but over a year, that's what, 650 pages? That's several really impactful books you've absorbed, new ideas, new perspectives that can genuinely shift how you think.
Okay, unfollow 10, read 10 pages daily. Got it. What's the last part?
Finally, define and actually write down one specific personal goal, something concrete you want to achieve in the future.
Write it down.
Yep. Make it clear, make it measurable if possible, and make it something that genuinely excites you, not what you think you should want.
Why writing it down?
Well, the act of physically writing it takes it from just a vague wish floating in your head and turns it into a more solid intention. It gives you clarity, sharpens your focus, and honestly, it significantly boosts the chances you'll actually take action towards it.
Okay, that makes sense. Unfollow, read, write down a goal. Simple but potentially powerful.
That's the idea.
Now, speaking of feeling a bit lost, we got a really relatable question. This is from Jess in Dallas.
Okay, Jess.
She says she's 25, feels like she's really lagging behind her friends, doesn't have a clear direction, and she's asking, basically, is it too late? Is it too late to make big changes?
Ah, Jess. That feeling is so common. First off, Jess, you are definitely not alone in feeling that way. It's valid.
Absolutely.
But here's the crucial thing for Jess, and really for anyone feeling that way. It is absolutely 100% not too late to change course.
Okay, that's good to hear.
However, the time for letting those limiting beliefs that procrastination kind of run the show, that needs to end like now. You don't need some perfect 5-year plan mapped out tomorrow.
Right.
But you do need to commit to taking deliberate steps, forward steps.
So what's the advice then? What's the first step if you feel like Jess?
The advice from our source material is really direct, actually, and quite powerful. It says, prioritize getting close to people who are already doing the kinds of things you want to do.
Proximity. Surrounding yourself with the right people.
Exactly. That proximity, putting yourself in the orbit of people who have the energy, the results, the mindset you aspire to, that can be a total game changer.
How so?
Well, think about it. When you intentionally seek out and, build relationships with people who are further along your desired path, you suddenly get access to invaluable insights, maybe mentorship, opportunities you wouldn't even know existed otherwise.
Ah, okay.
And often that sense of direction you're craving,
Yeah.
those unexpected possibilities, they start to just naturally emerge from those connections. It's like learning through, I don't know, osmosis and getting inspired by seeing it done in the real world.
Learning by osmosis. I like that. So it's less about having the perfect plan and more about getting in the right room, so to speak.
That's a big part of it, yeah. Action and environment.
Okay. Wow. So if this deep dive, if any of this has kind of hit home for you listening.
Yeah, if it struck a chord.
If you feel ready to maybe step away from some of those distractions and actually start building a life that feels more meaningful, more ambitious.
Then you should definitely subscribe. Stick with us. This is really just the start of getting equipped with these kinds of insights and strategies.
Yeah, more deep dives coming. And hey, we'd love it if you tagged us on Instagram. Let us know what you thought.
Please do. And share this deep dive with anyone else, in your circle who you think might need to hear it. Let's get these conversations going.
Help each other break free from some of these cycles.
Exactly. Support each other.
Because ultimately, and this is maybe the thought to leave you with, something to really chew on. You don't get what you deserve or what you passively hope for.
Yeah.
You get what you demand.
What you actively demand. Yeah. Powerful stuff.